Hello guys, welcome to the new video. Today I wanted to talk about the future of not just Mortal Kombat but also NetherRealm Studios. Recently I made a video where there was basically a leak, kind of a leak. We don't know if it was a leak or if it was a misdirection by one of the NetherRealm employers who basically leaked some file names that had MK12 in it, so a lot of people assumed that MK12 is going to be the next game worked on, and I honestly was excited about it. But now we got a little bit more information, and we're going to dig into it today and in this epic episode of Star News. Alright, so first of all, this is pretty interesting. Congratulations to the man, the myth, the legend, Ed Boon, on being inducted into the DICE Awards Hall of Fame. See him accept his honor tomorrow at 8 p.m. Well, that already happened by the time I upload this video, but congratulations. Well done, Ed, Mr. Ed. Big Ed. I'm sorry. Speaking of Ed Boon, he actually gave out a lot of very, again, cryptic but interesting and promising information on some of the latest interviews. So I'm sure many of you know that NetherRealm Studios had this pattern of releasing games. They would make Mortal Kombat game, then 2 years later Injustice game, then again Mortal Kombat game, Injustice game. They've been doing this for the past 10 years, and the last year, 2021, was supposed to be the year when they release Injustice 3 game, if they were following the same schedule, but obviously that didn't happen. Even more interestingly, the studio was completely silent. There was no explanation, there was no announcements, there was nothing. Fans had no idea if a new game was coming and if it was, what the game was. So there was apparently some interaction between Ed Boon and one of the fans. And he said the team is still not ready to announce what is being worked on. And then he explained that there are many more variables involved that he can talk about. Now, that sounds weird. Let's say they're working on Injustice game or Mortal Kombat game. How many variables can be in there? They did it so many times. They own the rights to all their characters. Like, they already have a well-oiled machine of producing Injustice and Mortal Kombat games. And generally the games are doing pretty good. People like them. I haven't seen like any major flops of any Mortal Kombat or Injustice games. All the games were pretty successful. And saying there are many more variables involved means probably that it's something completely different. Something they haven't done before. Something that they had a lot of maybe unexpected issues they had to deal with. Hence the delay of their upcoming game. Of course, people speculating that this could be in the reference that WB Games was recently almost bought by AT&T, which is completely crazy. That could have definitely be a reason for the massive delay of the new NetherRealm game. But as far as we know, that never happened, never went through. Maybe it's still in negotiations, nobody knows, nobody tells us. Now, there is another interesting rumor going around, is that they are working on the Marvel versus DC game. Apparently, Ed Boon dropped a few hints throughout the last year. He publicly announced that he would love to work with Marvel on Marvel vs. DC game. Not just announced, he also reached out to them at least once to work on the game. So if the deal actually went through, this could explain the secrecy behind the project, because something like this, you don't want it to be leaked at all. It would also explain the Mortal Kombat 12 leak that we had by one of the employees. It could have been just a simple misdirection to make people look the other way while the actual project remains in complete silence and secrecy. This actually would explain a lot of things. There is definitely going to be a lot of parties involved. There's going to be a lot of variables, a lot of difficulties to overcome in order for such a collaboration to exist as Marvel versus DC. Marvel and DC universes are very similar. They're the most prominent, the most popular superhero franchises in the world. And as far as I know, there haven't been any major collaborations in the past, except one. Apparently there was a game called Marvel vs. DC Clash of Heroes that was actually developed by NetherRealm. No, my bad. It was developed by Superbot Entertainment and released on March 18, 2013. That was such a long time ago. I might actually play this game. This game looks like fun. Look how many characters this game had. All of the Marvel characters. All of the DC characters in it. Oh my god, how didn't I play this game before? Anyway, we can be absolutely sure that if another major game, and this time if it's developed by NetherRealm Studios, and if it's going to be a full-blown fighting game with Marvel and NetherRealm Studios, there's going to be a lot of things to hash out before a game like this can release. Especially considering that the new technology has been unveiled recently as Unreal Engine 5 has been announced. There is a lot of rumors that it's also a possibility that we're gonna have Unreal Engine 5 reboot of Mortal Kombat trilogy, which honestly I think is possible, but I don't think it's their main focus. I don't think it's the main project that they've been working on since release of MK11, because they had so much time. They basically skipped their scheduled release of a game in 2021, and they've been working all these years on something. They even discontinued MK11, and if you're a player of MK Mobile, you know the game basically gets no content whatsoever except just new reskins and new reskin towers. So all of those resources have to be going somewhere. And if it was just basically a reboot of old Mortal Kombat games, I don't think that would be enough for the fans, and I think they know it. So even if that part is true, if that rumor is true, I think there is more brewing. There was also other comments that made by Ed Boon, which are extremely interesting. Speaking with Game Informer in a recent interview, creative director Ed Boon stated that NetherRealm Studios has broken the pattern of back-to-back Mortal Kombat and Injustice releases. He actually admitted it. I can say that for 10 years, we were releasing Mortal Kombat and Injustice. When we broke that pattern, there was a lot of speculation of what we would be doing next. He admits that the pattern was broken. I can tell you there was a reason for it, and when we announce our next game, it will make a lot more sense. At this point, I'll get in a lot of trouble if I say anything more. If that is not an admission that there is a completely new game brewing right now, I don't know what is. Basically, by this comment, he 100% confirms that they're breaking the cycle, which at least means that we can completely rule out Injustice 3. So there is still two options left. One is MK12, which, if I'm being honest, since the last game we had was only 2019, there was MK11, there was Mortal Kombat movie. I feel like they would not be releasing another Mortal Kombat game so soon after such a giant saturation of Mortal Kombat content on the market. I think they're gonna take a break. So if it's not Mortal Kombat and not Injustice, it has to be a completely new game. I personally think that this is the most plausible explanation that would explain absolutely all the leaks and rumors. I'm honestly really hoping to see DC versus Marvel game. I'm a big fan of Marvel, and I am a big fan of DC, and those universes are usually very separate and very different. I wonder if a new Marvel DC fighting game comes out, is it gonna be just like, is it gonna have a story? Is it gonna be like 1v1 fighting game just like Mortal Kombat or Injustice was? Or is it gonna be some kind of a maybe platformer or something similar? I don't know. But I'm hoping. that the next game released by NetherRealm Studios, first of all, I'm hoping it's going to happen this year because they already skipped a year, so people want something. And I'm hoping that there's going to be a mobile version for the new game as well. I play mobile games a lot. It's basically my whole channel built on playing mobile games. So I would definitely play whatever game they release at whatever platform. If it's going to be like PS5 and exclusive, I will probably buy PS5 just so I can play the new game. But I'm really hoping they're going to have a mobile version as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, so far nothing is solid. Everything is just rumors and speculations, but these few latest bits of information gives me hope that something big is brewing. They had to skip a whole year of their cycle to work on something big. And also, I almost forgot another important, very important bit of news. NetherRealm Studios hiring for melee-based combat game. There has been actually a listing by NetherRealm, a job listing for a senior designer at NetherRealm. Further confirms that a new game is on the way. Also, the listing had some keywords, like it's pretty clear the game focuses on melee-based combat. Also, the requirements for the candidates was experience in combat design and implementation. Like, they already have a team. I'm pretty sure well-established team for Mortal Kombat and Injustice. So bringing a new person with all this experience, it can mean two things. One, they had a lot of layoffs and they need to replace somebody, like they had to replace somebody, one of their senior designers. Like, that is pretty huge. It's not like some coder they need to hire. They need to replace senior designer. Or they actually creating a new team for absolutely new game, which is missing a serious design. They want to bring a new person to focus on the new project, which in my mind makes way more sense. Anyway, guys, all of the information is here. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? I'm super excited for the new NetherRealm game. I would very gladly take a break from Mortal Kombat and Injustice if they release something even better. Let's hope. Let's wait. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much, members and Patreons, for supporting this channel. You guys are awesome. See you soon. Subscribe for more content, and I'll keep you updated. Take care.